Good evening, YouTubers. This is Off-Grid Amateur. Today I'm going to be showing you how I clean my Berkey gravity water filters. The reason you need to clean these regularly is they begin to run slow and they don't filter as much water over a given day. And the reason why is because the outer layer, that very first outer layer of skin, that clogs up, but it's just a very thin layer on the outside that clogs up. So you can use a vegetable peeler, which scrapes away a lot of material. I prefer to back flush them or purge them by filling them or charging them with water that I know is clean, that will push all that particulate out. I also know that if I allow these ones to dry, so I have two sets, if I allow these ones to dry out while the other ones are being used, it does cause material that's stuck in those pores that might be swollen. It'll come out easier because it's dehydrated. So when I apply pressure here, it's going to force air and water through the inside of the filter. Now down here I had to stack up 4 of the washers that come with the Berkey filters, so the stem wouldn't bottom out in the neck of my faucet here. This faucet rotates 360 degrees, so I just pulled the aerator right here off, and I'm able to use this bar clamp right here. This is a carpenter's tool, I know, but this bar clamp allows me to compress this down so I get a nice tight seal, so I can turn on the water. I don't have any water spraying all over the place at my kitchen sink. And then while the water's flowing, I use a real heavy, coarse Scotch-Brite pad, and that pad scrapes away all that stuff that's embedded and stuck in the surface. You can also do this. Another stage in my filtration process is this kind of filter right here. This is a whole house filter that goes down to 1 micron. I just removed this one and replaced the other one to get maximum flow. But the way that I do this is same bar clamp, same setup, but in lieu of these gaskets, I removed the gaskets that are here on the end, and then I had to go purchase 2 1-inch PVC unions. And I use the O-ring side of the union. On this one it has a plug. That one goes on the top, and this one goes on the bottom, and it has bushings in it to reduce it down to a 1/2 inch pipe threads. And then I'll just use one of these Berkey rubber gaskets to make the seal on my faucet. And these 1-inch unions actually nest very nicely with the O-rings down inside there. And because that has that O-ring in there, when you compress it with a bar clamp, you again get a really tight seal. So I immediately flush it as soon as I bring it out, and then I let it dry. And once it's dry, before I use it again, I purge it and flush it again, scraping it with the Scotch-Brite pad, and that restores the vast majority of the flow. Now when you buy these, they are covered in like a plastic mesh material and a little bit of a paper fiber material. Well, I peel all that off so I can get access to the carbon. And you know, the manufacturer might tell you that you shouldn't do this, but the fact of the matter is just like the Berkeys, it's just those surface pores, and this is a very densely packed material, so I don't really believe I'm compromising my my filtration ability when I do this. And because I'm using rainwater, I don't have chlorine or any other heavy metals typically in the system. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn on the faucet, and you're going to notice when you see this thing filling up with air, and you'll see bubbles coming out of it, maybe a little bit of vapor, and it's going to start running and dripping down. And while it's running, I'll be scrubbing it with the Scotch-Brite pad to clear up that debris that's stuck in the surface. So here we go. Takes a moment to push the water through, because these are, like I said, they're dry. Here it comes. It's filling up. I just let it fill up, and while it's running, I got a nice tight seal. I just use this Scotch-Brite pad and I give it a good thorough scrubbing. Obviously I don't want to press too hard, because I'll push it off of my faucet, but I can go all the way around it. The bar helps to stabilize it so I don't have any uncontrolled spray while I'm cleaning it. You know, and then how long you do this is kind of up to you. I typically like to do it anywhere between 10 and 30 seconds. And then by scrubbing it with this Scotch-Brite pad while it's under reverse pressure, it's pushing all that smaller particles out of the pores. that are inside this Berkey gravity filter. And then when I reinstall these in my filtration system that I'll show you in another video, you know, it'll restore this to actually the factory specifications as far as how many gallons per hour that this thing will process. So this right here is plenty to get this particular filter cleaned up and ready for use. I've got 3 more to do, so I'm not going to make you suffer through watching that. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to get more of my videos. I'll be breaking down my rainwater catchment holding tank and how I process that water, every individual component, and later showing you the water processing center that I keep here in the house. Okay?